Hey everybody, Adam Davidson, RadCast. How are you? Good, good. I'm fine. Good. Hey, welcome to Monday. Let's get started with Colossians chapter 3, verses 1 and 2. Paul writes and he says this, "Since then you have been raised with Christ. Set your hearts on things above where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Set your minds on things above." You know, this is a great way to start our week because we tend to go into, well, I'll talk about myself. I tend to go into it as, okay, here goes Monday. You know, Emily and I get the kids ready for school. Then, I get this going on. Then I go to that thing, and then I got this, and then I'm going to work on this. And it's super easy for my attention to be pulled down to earth. Now, of course, this is where we are. This is where we all live. This is where God has us right now. So we can't just ignore that we're here and get all monkey, not like the animal, but like the monks, and just sort of cloister ourselves and wait for Jesus to return. He actually expects us to be essentially on top of our games today. And he's given us responsibilities, and he's given us duties, and he's given us joys. So let's make the most of it. How do we do that? By setting our minds on things above. Here's how I do it. At least here's how I try. I'm not good at it, but this is how I'm trying. I always try to imagine Christ's presence with me. And when I say imagine, it's more like I'm acknowledging that he's with me because he is. But there's something about, getting Lexi ready for school, throwing some sausage in the pan upstairs so that Mac has something to eat on the way out the door, hanging out with Zach this morning before he goes into school and maybe counting what's left of his Halloween candy. What I'm going to try to do in those moments is remember the presence of Christ with me. Because in all of those sort of day-to-day chores and things that we do, you always have this opportunity for conversation. The kids will bring up something, or Emily and I will talk about this or that. And we all come at our conversations from a certain perspective. And the perspective that I'm trying to have is, man, my heart and my mind are set on things above, meaning that I want to see this from the perspective of Jesus. And that's why Paul says, set your hearts on things above where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Like Jesus sees it all from where he is. There's nothing surprising or overwhelming to him. He understands the whole thing. It's not that I'm going to be Jesus, but I want to see it from his perspective as if I'm with him in that moment. We talk a lot about remembering, and I was just talking about how we try to remember that Jesus is with us, and that's good. But I also want to remember that I am with him, which is good too, because it does help me remember that I'm above just the buzz of the I don't know. I don't want to say it's overwhelming, but it is. There's a lot to it, isn't it? I mean, when it just comes to living, there's just a lot to it. So today, set your hearts on things above. Set your minds on things above. Remember that Christ is with you, and remember that you are with Christ, and watch what he does with the small details of the day. That's RadCast.